This overview of root cause analysis for Unified Improvement Planning should take about 5 minutes to complete. Unified Improvement Planning, Colorado's approach to improvement planning, includes several planning processes which also make up the key sections of the school or district improvement plan. The school data narrative tells the data story for the school. School planning teams engage in several processes to prepare this data narrative, including the following: reviewing a summary of the school's performance from the most recent school year, describing performance trends across multiple years of school performance data, prioritizing the performance challenges reflected in the school's trends, and identifying the root causes of performance trends. The next major process and section of the improvement plan is focused on setting performance targets. Target setting includes setting annual performance targets for the next 2 years for each priority performance challenge. Then for each annual performance target, an interim measure or measures should be identified that will be monitored during the year. Action planning starts from the root causes that were identified in the data narrative. Major improvement strategies should be identified for each root cause, with some major improvement strategies addressing more than one root cause. Major improvement strategies include action steps, timeline, key personnel, and resources. Then for each action step, implementation benchmarks must also be identified. Schools should also indicate the status of action steps that are already in progress. Finally, the interim measures and implementation benchmarks identified in the Unified Improvement Plan establish 2 critical components for schools and districts to monitor their progress multiple times during the school year. Our focus today is the identification of root causes. This table illustrates the subcomponents of each of the sections of the Unified Improvement Planning template. Note that root causes are included in the school data worksheet as part of the data narrative and as part of major improvement strategies. Root causes build a bridge between the school's priority performance challenges and the action plan. Root causes are statements that describe the deepest underlying cause or causes of performance challenges. They are the causes that, if dissolved, would result in elimination or substantial reduction of the performance challenges. Root causes describe why we see the performance that we see. They are the things we most need to change and can change. They become the focus of our major improvement strategies. Most important, root causes are about adult actions. Consider non-examples, or what is not a root cause. In general, root causes should not be fixed attributes of students, such as their poverty level. This is not something the school or district can control. Rather, the planning team needs to consider what services the school or district is providing to their students given characteristics. In other words, root cause may be that the school does not provide support for students who arrive at the school with learning deficits related to poverty. Student motivation is another often offered cause that shouldn't be allowed to stand as a root cause. Again, this is placing blame with the student rather than focusing on causes that the school can control. In this case, the planning team should ask why students aren't motivated to learn, and if there are ways to make the learning experiences provided to students more engaging. Finally, it is inappropriate to label an individual teacher as a root cause of a school's performance challenge. Take a few minutes to brainstorm a list of explanations that may come up with the school planning team, but that are not root causes. The following steps provide a way to structure thinking about the root causes of priority performance challenges. Focus on one performance challenge or more than one closely related performance challenges at a time. Consider the school context. This will include considering school processes and the perceptions of school stakeholders. Generate explanations for the performance challenge by brainstorming. Categorize, classify the explanations, grouping similar explanations together. Narrow and prioritize the explanations, applying some specific criteria. Deepen thinking to get to a root cause, and validate with other data. If the school has had an external review in the prior year, the external review findings can be incorporated between steps 3 and 4, after teams have generated their own explanations, but before they have grouped and categorized them. The steps proposed here for root cause analysis are like a funnel. They start broad with a focus on keeping all voices in the conversation to generate initial causal explanations. Then the possible explanations are narrowed, first by grouping like explanations together, and then by narrowing and prioritizing the explanations. Finally, the thinking is deepened, like the end of the funnel, to ensure the explanations are root causes. This is not a recipe to finding root causes. Rather, these steps are intended to structure thinking in a way that will lead to the identification of deeper causes for performance challenges. It is also possible that planning teams will iterate across these steps. They may get to the point of deepening their thinking and realize that their starting point or prioritized explanation was not right in the first place. Or validation may actually invalidate a proposed root cause, causing the team to go back to their initial list of explanations.